So a very common question we get in the reverse space is, why do I need to use a reverse mortgage when purchasing a house when I have enough cash to do so? And it's a very great question to ask. Most people believe a free and clear house is the best way to have a house. Well, and that may have been true 15, 20, 30 years ago, but it's all about keeping flexibility with the cash you have. So what you see here is a real life example I have right now with a client that is utilizing a reverse mortgage to buy a house instead of paying cash for it. Now, they are selling a house and they have enough cash to completely pay for this house outright, but they're going to utilize the reverse mortgage because it's going to free up about $144,000 of cash that they can use to purchase their next house without having to sink it all into equity. So, to see here, really the HECM loan amount or the reverse mortgage balance will be roughly about 163,000. This only requires them to bring, after accounting for closing costs and everything, is that they're going to bring that $306,000 to closing, and that's going to free up about $144,000 of cash. Now, this client is going to buy a house that's about $450,000, but if they wanted to take all their money that they have from the sale of this house to buy the next one, they could theoretically buy up to 667,000. Now, what makes this very unique and what I always want to show people is the future, because we always have to begin with the end in mind. And it's the same thing with this product. Now, what's interesting right now is with interest rates being near their highs, that FHA requires today that you have to have more equity into your house than what you would have had when rates were at their historic lows. So in the example you see here over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, and so forth many years, they're using two assumptions here. Average appreciation of the house of around 4%, which is roughly the nationwide average, but they're also using an expected interest rate of about 6.91%, which means from now through year 25, they are assuming that rate is 6.91%. So the next thing I'm going to show you here is just a very basic time value of money calculator. And what I always want to show is that you may have less equity in your house at the end of the reverse mortgage or when you decide to sell it or whatnot, but you will have more cash. And as you can see from a basic time value of money, if you took $144,000 and invested it over, let's say, the next 10 years, and let's just say your rate of return on said account was 6%. Financial advisors know better than me, but let's just throw out 6% there. In 10 years, you're going to have over $250,000 in cash accessible to you, opposed to having it in equity, which has no liquid value until you sell the property. Also, if you want to look, let's say 20 years from now, you're seeing about, you're going to see an increase or a cash outlay of about 461,000. Now, once again, this is just using an example here of about 6%. In 20 years, the loan balance is going to be up there according to the example here, but that's also assuming interest rate of 6.91%. It's more likely that we're going to see probably an average rate over the next 10 to 20 years, probably in the 5% range, give or take a little bit. So the key to this is that everything has a cost. The reverse mortgage is no different. However, it keeps it liquid for you. So I hope you find this helpful. Hopefully, it sheds a little bit of light on how a reverse mortgage can be beneficial for even those clients that can pay cash for the property.